welcome back to my channel. My name is Lovely. My channel name is Lovely Lovely. This is a reaction channel to where I react to everything lovely according to me. So this is going to be a reaction to woke TikToks, popular woke TikToks on the Beyond 5D channel. I'm going to be reacting to his channel, one of his uploads. So let's get into it. They took Dr. Sadie out.
Don't believe that there's white privilege, please don't teach. If you don't believe that Black Lives Matter, please don't teach. If you don't believe in systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our students of color.
Been radicalized in college, please don't
Excuse me, y'all. Sorry.
Because being racist is not practicing what you preach. You teach them be less white and other propaganda from the gutter. If you're not teaching love for your brother, please don't teach.
Period.
I am booked, I am busy, I am in demand, I am doing everything according to the plan. I trust myself, trust the universe.
What she's doing is very powerful.
What's mine will never pass me. It's all in divine timing. Got an ad, things are racing towards me.
What she's doing is very powerful. Manifesting, snapping, transmuting the energy, keeping the energy and the momentum flowing as she manifests while speaking out her affirmations. That's very powerful. That's something that I do. So it is very powerful and it definitely does work. And I also wanted to pause this video because I know that there's things going on in the background that you guys could probably hear. There's people outside working, so excuse the background, please. See, they're working. So excuse that. But what this beautiful goddess, well, what this beautiful soul here is displaying is something that's very prominent that we all should partake in when we say our affirmations daily. Say it and keep that energy flowing. What she's doing is very important and it definitely works.
I let it go to let it go, sending up all the thanks so the heavens know I am ready, I am ready, I am worthy, I am worthy, I'm receiving all my dreams, all my dreams.
There we go.
Okay, this might not make sense, but just hear me out, okay? Does anyone else ever think about the fact that we are trained to believe life is like a circle and it's a cycle and we're constantly in cycles all the time? But in reality, it's more linear. Like, point of birth, you are just walking to death every day, which is sad, but it's just the truth, you know? But we are trained to believe that it is a cycle and a circle. Like, we are always waiting for Friday every week. New Year, it's the new fucking circle thing, okay, right? And it's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious that it's to help the economy, to help businesses, and keep us in this world where we're always working. Because think about it. You would be like, okay, I'll just do it this weekend, whatever, you know, for the cycle. But then if you lived your life based on linear life, you wouldn't wait till the weekend because you're like, I'm just getting closer to death. I'm going to do it now. But that doesn't work in a business world, right? So, yeah, and if you need more proof of that, what shape is a clock? A fucking circle. Feeds you into the idea of the cycle.
Five movies you should watch if you're woke or spiritual, part 2. Netflix edition. Number 1, we got The Giver. This is a movie about a very small, secluded community. The government is convinced there's nothing outside the wall. They're also forced to take hand injections every single day, makes them only see in black and white, and suppress their emotion. Very similar to fluoride and how our government actually brainwashes us. Coming in at number 2, we got The Truman Show. This movie starring Jim Carrey, where they take him as a baby, put him in a fake world, and secretly record him every day. The only reality he knows, so he's convinced that it's the only reality. Very similar to how we live in a simulation and we believe everything that we see. Don't know what you don't know. Coming up next, we got The Discovery, a movie where a guy finds scientific proof of afterlife. The whole world then stops fearing death, causing rapid suicide rates. I believe this is why scientists actually aren't allowed to release the truth about life after death.
Of course not.
Coming in at number 4, we got The Matrix. I'm sorry that I had to put this in again for the Netflix edition, but if you haven't seen this movie yet, it's a perfect representation of life and how we live in a simulation.
True.
Number 5, we got this documentary called The Social Dilemma. This is a documentary about a bunch of people that used to work at Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc., where they actually admit that the reason they quit is because they don't agree with how the government brainwashes people through.
Part 1 of Hidden Facts the World doesn't really want you to know. Every time you hear the word fossil fuels, that's actually a big lie. In 1892, at the Geneva Convention, this man, J.D. Rockefeller, actually paid scientists to start calling oil fossil fuels, thus making it seem like oil is much more scarce than it is and being able to set up a world price. When in reality, it's the second most prevalent liquid on Earth, second to water. In fact, it's always regenerating itself within the Earth much faster than it could ever be depleted. So remember, the next time you hear the word fossil fuel, it's playing a bigger part than just being a word. Like part 2.
So I'm aware that being woke is starting to become like a cool trend, but like if you were truly woke, you would know that it's not that cool. Being woke is knowing about all little things that are happening behind closed doors that the government doesn't want. According to the plan.
I keep messing up these videos, y'all. Sorry. But I wanted to touch on the topic when she was speaking about being woke. Look, and I hate to say this, but sometimes it's not good to know everything. And when I say that sometimes it's not always good to know everything, I mean sometimes when you know everything, you stop living. Right? If you know everything, you won't live the way you were supposed to live when you were sent here, right? And let me break that down for people that may not understand what I'm saying. If you know everything, or if you're constantly searching for the knowledge and, trying to elevate and put yourself on a frequency that's above all, you are no longer vibrating in a human form, right? You were sent down here to have a human experience. Even though we are all spiritual beings, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So therefore, when you step outside of the human's mental capacity, meaning you're a higher vibration connecting you to your higher self, you become more spiritual and less human. So sometimes it's not good to know everything. Sometimes it's good to allow yourself to experience things as a human. And I know I have times, and I don't care if somebody comes across this video and they may call me crazy or whatever, or a weirdo. I don't care. Sometimes I know for a fact, me personally, when I first started my spiritual journey, I hated, and I'm going to use the term hate, I hated being human because I was realizing who I am and what I am, and I hated being human. I hated the aspect of it. I hated it all, But then I had to learn that I was sent here for a reason. I actually volunteered to come here. Like we all did, from my spiritual people that are connected, that know what I'm talking about. You chose to come here, so you are here for a reason. So therefore, you're here for a reason to experience something, to learn a lesson, and then to transcend and, go back to where you came from. So, like I said, it's not always good to know everything. Sometimes it's good to just experience and learn things on your own. Because when you learn something, you no longer need to go through it, right? So, like if you know the stove is hot, you're not going to touch it. But if you don't know the stove is hot and you touch it, oh shit, that's hot. You had to go through it to figure out that it's hot. But if somebody say, hey, don't touch that, it's hot, you're not going to touch it, and you're not going to have that full experience to know that, hey, this shit is hot, I'm not going to touch it. Right? So sometimes it is good not to know everything, but yet still good to be connected, still good to be woke, it's still good to be knowledgeable. But I also feel like there are certain things that we need to experience as humans without being told. It may sound a little contradicting or whatever, but sometimes it's not always good to be woke because you lose the human experience, which is what you were sent down here to experience. I'm not about to go into it and be like certain races. I'm not doing that. But what I will say is that we were all sent here for a reason. We all chose to come here for a reason and experience this life in a human form. So with you knowing more than you're supposed to or learning faster than you should, you lose a sense of being human. And that's the part that's what I'm talking about when I say that it's good to be woke, but then it's not so good to be woke, because then you lose the human experience. All right, let's get back into it. And please excuse me because I don't know what happened. Hold on. Let's see where I was. I think I was right there.
Take hand injections every single day, makes them only see in black and white and suppress their emotion. Very similar to fluoride and how our government actually brainwashes us. Coming in at number 2, we got The Truman Show. This movie starring Jim Carrey, where they take him as a baby, put him in a fake world, and secretly record him every day. The only reality he knows, so he's convinced that it's the only reality. Very similar to how we live in a simulation and we believe everything that we see. Don't know what you don't know. Coming up next, we got The Discovery, a movie where a guy finds scientific proof of afterlife. The whole world then stops fearing death, causing rapid suicide rates. I believe this is why scientists actually aren't allowed to release the truth about life after death. Coming in at number 4, we got The Matrix. I'm sorry that I had to put this in again for the Netflix edition, but if you haven't seen this movie yet, it's a perfect representation of life and how we live in a simulation. Number 5, we got this documentary called The Social Dilemma. This is a documentary about a bunch of people that used to work at Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc., where they actually admit that the reason they quit is because they don't agree with how the government brainwashes people through.
Part 1 of Hidden Facts the World Doesn't Really Want You to Know. Every time you hear the word fossil fuels, that's actually a big lie. In 1892, at the Geneva Convention, this man, J.D. Rockefeller, actually paid scientists to start calling oil fossil fuels, thus making it seem like oil is much more scarce than it is and being able to set up a world price. When in reality, it's the second most prevalent liquid on Earth, second to water. In fact, it's always regenerating itself within the Earth much faster than it could ever be depleted. So remember, the next time you hear the word fossil fuel, it's playing a bigger part than just being a word. Like part 2.
So I'm aware that being woke is starting to become like a cool trend, but like if you were truly woke, you would know that it's not that cool. Being woke is knowing about all little things that are happening behind closed doors that the government doesn't want us to know. And then you can't really talk about it with that many people because they're gonna call you crazy.
Weird.
They're gonna say you got
crazy or
schizophrenia.
weird.
They're gonna ask you what kind of drugs you're taking.
Right.
Being woke literally consists of dumbing yourself down 90% of the time to have a normal conversation.
Majority of the time.
Celebrities, sports, music, work, all that becomes a different thing when you wake up.
Sometimes you have to sit there and just have stupid ass. I'm gonna try not to curse. I'm trying not to curse. Sometimes you have to sit there and dumb yourself down and have conversations with people that you have conversations with people about things that you don't really care about. Like she said, like sports, like reality shows, like TikToks, like TV shows and movies and all this other stuff that just lowers your vibrations. You have to sit there and have a conversation with them because that's what they're into. Everybody says that they're woke, but when you have real conversations with them like this, they don't know what you're talking about. They look at you like you're crazy. If you're looking at me like I'm crazy talking to you about this, then you're not woke. Period. So Most people that are quote unquote woke, that say they are woke, if they don't really know what they're talking about, they're not woke. If they can't sit and have a conversation with me like I'm talking to you right now, you're not woke. If you looking at me and you saying I'm crazy, or I'm a weirdo or I'm cuckoo, or I'm out there, no, then you're not. You're just, what is it called? A fake. You're a fake woke person. That's what that consists of. Because being how can I say this? Accepting your calling, and, you know, actually diving deep into spirituality, and knowing exactly what life is and what your sole purpose is, and connecting to others like you, then you're not woke. But if you can do that, and if you want to know knowledge, and know spirituality, and know what's really going on, and know about the elites, and know about all these things, you know what I'm saying, then that would be considered woke. But just because you know about GMO foods, and just because you know about stupid shit like why the gas is rising and stuff like that, that doesn't mean you're woke. That just means that you probably know what's going on, but you don't really know like what's really going on. But anyway, it's not always good. Like I said, it's not always good to know everything, but yet it's still good to know what's going on. You don't want to be a bot out here, and you don't want to be, how can I say it? You don't want to be a bot, and then you also don't want to be spiritually inclined. Not even spiritually inclined, but like on a high spiritual frequency, to the point where you're not operating as a human anymore, so it's like you want to be in the middle. Not even in the middle, because you don't want no bot shit on you, but you want to be vibrating on a high frequency. How about that? Let me just say that. But I don't want to reach a level of consciousness to the point where I'm not able to continue to experience my human, my human experience. But I do want to continue to elevate spiritually, so that I know what's going on, and know how to stop all my generational curses, and fix everything that I did not fix in my past life, so that I don't have to reincarnate and come back here. But anyway, y'all, this is getting deep. I feel like I'm getting too deep for y'all. But anyway, like I'm a real spiritual person. I get really deep with it, but there is a thin line between being woke and being a bot, and that's all I'm gonna say. What you want to be, where you want to be, is just vibrating on a high frequency where the nonsense don't affect you, and I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Oh.
You practice witchcraft? Yes. You're literally going to go to hell.
That's another thing too. That's another thing too. People, just because you wear crystals and you like sage and all this other stuff, people want to call you a witch. No, that's not what that means. That just means you're in tune, and you know how to protect yourself from people energy and all these other things that's out there. Sexual deities, energy vampires, you know what I'm saying? People that vibrate on low frequencies, all that stuff. It's just a protection. Those are just rituals for protection. That doesn't mean that you're a witch. And if you're a witch, it is what it is. No judgment. Okay? I love all. And I want all to love me. So it is what it is. But just because you practice those things does not make you a witch. And even if you are a witch, it is what it is. Period.
What you're doing is wrong and evil.
Just because you don't know, just because you don't know how to protect yourself, and you think that somebody's doing something that's outside of your norm, as being a witch or being evil or being whatever the case may be, that sounds like a personal problem. Period. Just because you wasn't taught how to protect yourself, that don't have nothing to do with us. Okay? Period.
And do spells for self-improvement. How How is that evil? Because all of the energy for your spell work comes from Satan. I don't even believe in Satan or hell.
Right.
But Jesus will always love me. You realize that paganism was a thing way before Christianity, right? Christmas literally evolved from pagan traditions. Oh, okay. I respect your beliefs. It is really not that hard to respect mine.
Exactly.
Hidden Facts the World Doesn't Want You to Know, Part 6. Today we're talking about John D. Rockefeller again. Around the same time that he took over media, he found out he could take over the medical industry. He found out medicine can be produced through petroleum and decided to run with it. After he found this out, he actually got his propaganda army to change reality accordingly. Natural herbs and practices that had been around for thousands of years actually became the alternative, while the new highly addictive and patentable petroleum medicine became the new standard. He then bought a company that provided chemicals of warfare for Adolf Hitler. He then pressed Congress to consider natural healing methods to be fake. He then took over the American Medical Association and started offering massive grants at universities under the condition that his curriculum be taught. Any writing on natural healing were taken out of textbooks, and any doctors that spoke out were crucified by the media. After he found out his medicine caused cancer, he actually founded the National Cancer Society. They've been suppressing information from us for all this time, and he is the reason why medical errors is the third leading cause of America.
All right, y'all. That was the end of this video. Another video uploaded by Beyond 5D. This is somebody. This is a channel that I resonate with, so I wanted to come on here and just react to one of the TikTok videos. I may do more of the woke TikTok videos, but if you guys like me, if you like my energy, if you like my transparency and my outspokenness and my I don't really care attitude, if you like that and you vibe with me and you think I'm cool, subscribe please, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, have a good one, y'all.